If you're an OnlyFans creator, you need to understand that your presence is worth more than anything a subscriber can offer. And yes, that includes money, but that's only true if you can get him to realize that. And unfortunately, most of you creators are too busy begging when you should be commanding and extracting large sums of money. So I'm going to go into a little bit of what I talked about in the previous video about the art of extraction. So this is what takes place during the sales process. So when you have to apologize for your rates, when you have to lower your rates, when you have to justify your rates, in a way you're already losing the leverage. You need to be absolutely certain in the fact that your prices are your prices because it's worth it, and you could be charging more, but you're choosing not to be kind. And without getting too rude, you have to make sure that with your chatting team, with the way that you're presented, you let them know that you are a premium creator in comparison to all the other creators out there. Again, without coming across as rude or like arrogant or annoying, but like that has to be the vibe in the conversation of, well, I'm not like other creators. I'm not going to do these exact same things that they do. I'm not offering the things that they're offering. I tend to connect with my subscribers on a way deeper level. I tend to offer an experience that can't be replicated by any other creators, because if it could, you'd already be gone. And you have to understand, generally speaking, even though some of these subscribers will subscribe to like literally 1,814 accounts. Yes, as a chatter, I've spoken to a subscriber who was subscribed to 1,814 creators, but you have to let them know that no other creator will be like you, because if that were the case, they'd already be there. And the fact that they're on your page right then and there means that to them, you're essentially the most beautiful creator in the world. So the problem is when you allow your rates and your prices to be negotiated down, it lowers the perceived value of what it is that you're offering. So you always have to start with the fact that you're not desperate for a sale. You offer something that other creators don't offer. You can demonstrate that. You know your worth. And if you're still getting pushback, then you have to say, look, maybe you can go somewhere where the cheap discounts and bargains that you're looking for are available without pushing them too far away. But again, there's an art to this. It's not always an exact science, where sometimes the guy only has 20 bucks. So you make sure that you can give him what you think is worth 20 bucks. But none of this offering things that are normally priced at like 200, 300, 400 for like 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks. Like, you can't be doing things like that. And then you have to be flexible, but only to a certain point. But I recommend not being flexible, right? I recommend letting subscribers know that, look, you're either going to show me that this is important to you and show me that I'm worth it. And to be honest, if you've done your discovery where you ask them questions, like fact-finding questions, you know if they have the money or not. And you're going to make sure that they have to earn what they get from you. And that will put them in a position where they're more likely to chase, because that's the key to getting the most amount of money out of them. You want them chasing you without pushing them too far away to where they actually end up going somewhere else. So desperation, simple example of desperation. He wants a significant reduction and you give it to him. Or, he messages you, and even though he's neglected your PPVs and he's bullshitted and he's made promises that he didn't fulfill and he's just not spending money, you're still giving him a premium experience because you need a sale that bad. Like, the simps are not that stupid, right? They can tell when you're desperate for a sale. So removing any hint or trace of desperation is really important, and making sure that you maintain the leverage in the exchange. But you have to make sure that you communicate through your sales tactics, through your emotional investment tactics and strategies, through the conversation that you have with them, through the prices, through the availability of your time, through the exclusivity of what you're offering, through the scarcity of what you're offering, where you can say, hey, I might not be in the mood 20, 30, 40 minutes from now, or, I'm currently at X place and, I'll do it now if you're serious, but if not, then we can just forget about it. You have to communicate through all these different things, including the bond that you have and the fact that you remember things about him and know things about him that no other creator knows. You have to communicate through all of these things that you are doing him the favor by talking to him. Like, he's not doing you a favor. but you don't say that in those words. You communicate that through the subtext and through the subtleties of the conversation. Hopefully that makes sense. Like, hopefully that's not too complex to grasp. But if it is too complex to grasp, then more likely than not, your chatters haven't grasped it either, and they're fucking up your money. But if you tune into the second part of this video, I'm going to do a follow-up. This is like a really long ass conversation, like sales. This is really the foundation of the business. This is where the nitty-gritty, and this is where the money's made. This I can go on forever. Gee. So I'll do another one, a part 2, just talking about how you can create an addiction to your experience, to your presence, to your attention through scarcity. Because ultimately, and this is the number one thing to realize with extraction, he's not paying for content, he's paying for an experience with you. Once you get to a point where you can establish that amongst your team, you can establish that amongst your subscribers, you're going to notice that your earnings are going to go way up. So tune in for the second part to this video, and yeah, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, leave a supportive comment, or like you can just leave an angry comment if you want, whatever. I may not respond, but yeah, tune in and I'll just keep doing my best to throw out tips and tricks and any type of strategies and advice that I can help you to move along in this game.